I'm about 500 feet above where the ocean is. I can barely hear it, but the tide is rising. So I need to get down there quick because this might be my only opportunity to catch some food. Here's a small stream that's turned into a trickle as I'm making my way down the hill. I'm really hoping there's going to be more streams like that down there because that's going to be my water source. I need to get to those rocks as soon as possible. Good thing this is not a 30-foot wall. I think it's mainly only clothes in here and some avocados, so that's the only thing that'll get smashed. Man, all these rocks are so loose, I don't think I can climb down. I have to jump down. Oh man. And the first thing I see is a water bottle. Oh, and a crock. A dirty crock. This could be useful later, but you never know what people do with these bottles. A lot of times when people are on boats, they'll pee in these and then let them drift off to sea. I've got my own, so I won't be needing this, so I'll leave this here just in case I need it later. Everything is so tidal dependent when you're at the ocean. I need a stick and I need it fast. These two have potential, so I'll bring them along with me. The tides change from high to low, from low to high, from high to low every 6 hours roughly. And there are a lot of things that are only possible at low tide, which was 2 hours ago for me today. I gotta get to those boulders now. I'll worry about the shelter later because it's still early. I really need to capitalize on this low tide now or else I'll have to wait another 12 hours. This is all that I brought with me for fishing supplies. Some fishing line and 2 hooks. I think I'll put this thick stick to the side. This thin one bends nicely, kind of just like a fishing pole. Got about 8 inches of line and I tied a fisherman's knot to the end of this hook. About 4 or 5 inches down from the hook, I'm going to tie a big knot into that fishing line. Now I'll position my hook roughly about there on my stick. And with my extra line, I'm going to wrap up around that hook about 1 inch. After I got that inch, I'm going to go back down about 1/2 inch. I just cut off another 8-inch section. Now with that other 8-inch piece, I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to lay it down between that 1/2 inch and continue the wraps. I'm putting the end that I was wrapping through that loop I just laid on there. Now I should be able to pull the 2 loose ends on the loop and that should secure everything. Now I've got a hook that's securely attached and the hook has a knot in it to prevent it from sliding up between these loops. I wanted to use mussels, but I see some limpets here and we don't have time, so I'm going to use this. Let's see if there's any fish or anything that'll pick up on the scent of this limpet. I want to stick my pole right in those holes, but the next low tide is at 7 p.m. at night. I might have to come back and do it then. Now it's almost high tide, so it's a good opportunity to see where I should set up my camp because this is the highest that the water is going to go. So there's actually about another hour until high tide and it's supposed to rise another foot or so. So I'm thinking where that sand right there is eroding, that might be a good spot because I know the water won't reach that. But it might be safer just to go up on the cliff again, just in case something happens because a storm is scheduled to arrive tomorrow. There's so many little bits of trash everywhere. I kind of like this. Kid's knife. I might be able to use this for something. Well, I left my backpack about a 1/4 mile down the beach, but this spot is looking more and more promising. I've got a steady flow of fresh water, and I've even seen some flat spots on the bluffs. So I'll have to hike back, get my stuff, and set up camp in a bit. I think I could fit this sandal I just found, and if I can find another one, that would be nice to relax in tonight. Well, I found another one. This one doesn't look quite as comfortable. Crazy to think that somebody was walking around in these at one point. It's a little small. I need a size 12. No way. This is the flat spot I was going to camp on, and look what's at the flat spot. That's a size 12. It's actually a men's 11, but that'll work. Nice. Now let me see if this really is practical or not to set up camp here. It's kind of wet. I'm gonna find something else. At least I got a slipper. One is a little bit smaller, but beggars can't be choosy. That's the life of a scavenger. I need a little fuel, so I'm gonna have a snack. I'm just gonna have one of my avocados. I brought 2 for this trip. Just got a little salt and pepper. Oh yes. And that'll have to get me through dinner time. Okay. This is the spot I decided to set up camp. It's protected by this rock from the waves. I'm just going to level it out a little bit as much as I can. All right, that's pretty flat. I did lose my stick with the hook and bait on it though. I hope I left it by the slipper because that really is my only fishing supplies. Got a simple one-man tent today. I always try my best not to get any sand in between these joints of these tent poles, especially if the sand is fine. It's a real pain to clean it up afterwards. Might be a little breezy tonight, so I'm going to throw this top on also. I can even stretch this out and have a nice little spot to put my backpack. Very important to keep your ventilation right. A well-vented tent is a dry tent. If you have any suggestions on a good insulator, lightweight, something to backpack with, let me know because I think it might be time for an upgrade. I've got no complaints on the sleeping bag though. That's what it looks like inside. I'm 6 feet tall and it's very comfortable for me. Look at this tennis ball, completely bleached from the sun. There's something to keep my morale up. There it is, just sitting there, waiting for me. Time to prepare some stuff for the fire. So I'll put all the kindling and tinder in this bag and I'll put all the fuel sticks in this bag. If this wood is a little bit damp, that's no problem. It'll dry out so fast using that smoking, smothering technique. And after that, I can find the wettest log I want and throw it on there and it'll dry out and burn. So I'm set for fire tonight. All right, now I gotta find a skillet. I'm gonna clear out a little channel down here to put all the coals and hot embers. Off to find my skillet. That'll work. This couldn't be better. Even thickness throughout the rock, and it fits perfectly across my fire pit. Look, I can check for level also. Pretty good, 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 good enough. Yeah, we can cook on that. My energy levels are a little bit down for some reason, and a cold shower always brings them up, so I'm gonna take a dip. That was refreshing. Now let's go warm up on a rock. With the rain tarp over this tent, it's almost like a little sauna in here. It's just about too hot. There is one thing that I need to do to have a successful fishing trip, and that is to get some bait. You always want to be prepared as much as possible for anything beforehand. So I'm gonna go get some bait. Actually ended up dozing off before I could get bait, and I missed the next low tide. Just kidding. Just kidding, it's still about 2 hours until the low tide, and it's gotten cold. It's about time that I go get some water, and then I'll find that bait. That'll be good for tonight. That's for later, and this is to be filtered now. Just push the filter down, and we got fresh water. The only thing that I don't like about this is the weight. It's a little bit heavy, especially if you're going on a long backpacking trip. That's the only thing. I love how it does hold all the water and you don't have to drink it all on the spot. All right, it's time for our bait finding mission. And I'm gonna bring my fishing pole with me just in case the tide gets low enough. There's some mussels. Now you know, if you want buoys, you never have to buy one again. Wow, that is fresh. Those are fresh seagull bones. Definitely some other scavengers around here. I've been looking for something that I can keep a fish in if I get one, and I came across this child's life preserver. I'm gonna see if I can empty the contents of it. Those plastic bags could come in handy too. That's great fire starter right there. This is the second lead weight I found from a dive belt. And this one is heavy. This one is at least 5 pounds, maybe 6 pounds. How does something get all the way up here? It must be from a really big storm. This is worth a good chunk of change, but it's too heavy for me to bring back. I don't want to hike with this all the way up the hill. Wow, look at this massive log. You can see where the chainsaw marks are. One there and one there. I've walked about a mile from camp, and I know there's some of you who may know where I am and probably never gone this far north. Well, I'm scouting it out, and that rock looks good to fish on. Actually, there might not be a way to get on there, but this does, however, open up to a beautiful sandy beach. Wide open. Not a single footprint but mine. Wow, I've never been to a beach that gives me this expansive feeling. Makes me feel so small. But I think the tide is low enough now where we can catch some fish. There's some mussels. You can just rip them right off. The larger ones are usually right on the bottom. I don't think mussels are in season right now. There's probably a quarantine, or else I would have some of these. Well, that's all we need for bait. Now we gotta find a fishing spot. It's about time for sure. Look at all those little spots we can fish. Here's my mussel. That's what we're trying to get. Looks just like a worm. It'll fit right on the hook. I want the hook tip right on the edge of the mussel. More likely you'll get a fish right on there. I actually don't like this spot that much. It's really shallow and I need to get really far out there to be able to get into the holes, so I gotta find a new spot. So I'm looking for pockets of water that look stagnant but are not. And undercuts are also what I'm looking for, kind of like this but underwater. The sun will be set in about 15 minutes. Just poking my pole into any hole I can. The deeper it goes, the better. I've also got to be careful that I don't rub this fishing line against the rocks too much, because if it frays, that's all I got. I don't like it. It's just too much water flowing. These fish, they like to have a little nice protected pocket. It's not low tide yet, but there goes the sun. Oh no, I just got splashed bad, and here's another one. Got my pants all wet. Exactly what I didn't want to happen tonight. I'm trying to look for a spot, but man, I don't know. There's no real deep ones. Depth perception gets a little bit off at night. Got to be extra careful not to be jumping around as much as normal. I might be vegetarian tonight. I underestimated how difficult this would be at night. You just can't tell how deep the hole is. And then when you shine the light, then your pupils get all dilated, and then your eyes have to adjust again. It's really tough. There's no undercuts, there's no holes. I'm running out of luck. Actually, I don't think I had any to begin with. Finally back. Well, can't do much about that. Let's see if we can start this cotton, or whatever it is. All right, here's my smallest sticks. All right, there we go. Now, I'm not sure if that stuff was cotton or what, so I don't really want to inhale it in case it's like insulation or something. So I've been doing some research around this area, and there used to be this Native American tribe called the Kashaya. Around the 1850s, I believe, when the European settlers came, the Kashaya tribe was in the way. They used to hunt, forage, fish along the coast, and in 1850 it was made legal to hunt and kill all Kashaya tribe members. So from 1850 to 1880, it was legal in California to hunt and kill another human being. And you know the even crazier part is if there was a law passed like that today where it was legal to hunt and kill another person, there would be people who would do it. Isn't that crazy? Like, what kind of world do we live in? I just don't understand. Can't really wrap my head around that. It's just insane. Well, on a lighter note, I'm gonna heat up this rock and start cooking. Oh, perfect. Aluminum foil, so light, so easy to pack, almost makes for its own pan, very versatile, great thing to bring on a camping trip. So I got the biggest potato I could find. I'll just wrap it up in here a few times. There she goes onto the coals for about 25 minutes. I was just getting some more firewood and then I saw a belt buckle. So I pulled it up and attached to it is an entire weight belt with about 22 pounds of lead. I said I wasn't going to bring that 5-pounder, but how can I pass this up? It's an entire weight belt. I'm going to bring this home. Oh gosh, heck yeah. I hope whoever pulled that off is okay. Here's kind of a cool thing that my friend Michael Yee gave me. It's a billow, I think. It's a little aluminum thing, like a straw, almost like one of those old telescopes. You just lengthen it, then you don't have to stick your whole head in the fire to get oxygen to it. Extremely concentrated flow of air. Much more efficient than just using your breath. Really lightweight also. All right, let's check this potato out. Hot potato, hot potato. Oh yeah, that's cooked through. I think you know what time it is. It's butter time. There's one there. We'll do another one right next to it. Okay. Yes, it is. It is butter time. Get all that butter melted. Now what I'm really excited about trying, I've never cooked this way before, cooking straight on this rock. Let's see if it's hot enough. Oh, butter melts immediately. Now these were going to be my breakfast, but I'm just gonna have them right now. 2 eggs. Let's see if they cook without sliding in the fire. Stay here, stay here. Look at that, we got 2 eggs cooking on a rock. Never thought I'd see the day. Break the yolk, let the yolk cook also. Got my other avocado also. Let's see if I could actually flip this egg. But look at that, it does not stick. It's non-stick, y'all. Cooks better than my frying pan. What do you think about the non-stick rock? Pretty nice, huh? Well, this could be worse. I've got 2 avocados, 2 eggs, a giant russet potato with half a stick of butter. I think I'm doing all right tonight. Let me try those eggs. Tastes like eggs. This is what I needed. Looks like my night light is running out of battery, so I'm gonna have to shut it off, and I'll see you in the morning. I'm biting very carefully so I don't break a tooth on these pieces of sand. Good morning. I slept pretty well. It's about 6:30, but I wasn't expecting to be woken up by the rain. The rain was supposed to start at 10. Oh man, it's raining way harder than I thought it would be. I don't have any rain gear. When I'm walking on these rocks, when I go fishing, I always say, avoid the wet rocks. Well, that is completely impossible now. Well, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and sharing it with someone who you think might like it also. Helps a lot. I got a long hike up, so I'm gonna focus on that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. That was fun. Got back just in the nick of time.